So, the Teal Mask has obviously officially released, and personally, I've really been enjoying it. I've also really been enjoying all of the crazy secrets that it has to offer, because while it is just one half of a DLC expansion, it's got a ton of cool secrets that it is hiding, some of which you very easily might not have noticed at all. And in this video, these kinds of secrets that you may have missed are what I am going to be discussing. So let's check it out. If you enjoy what I do on this channel, I appreciate it, and you can support it and help keep it going by grabbing the brand new plushie of my new mascot Folkachi from my Histrobi Chronicles project that I just launched. He's cute, adorable, soft, squishy, super high quality, and the fact that I have a plush is a really big deal, and grabbing one immensely supports the channel and helps me to keep making cool content just like this. You can grab one at histrobishop.com with the link in the description, so be sure to check that out. It would be immensely appreciated. And now, let's get into these Teal Mask secrets. Really quick, this video is obviously going to contain spoilers for the DLC, so before you go any further, consider this your spoiler warning. Let's begin though where I often love to begin, and that is the subject of secret Pokemon. I recently discussed in a separate video how Diplin is most likely going to be getting another evolution in the second half of the DLC, due in part to the fact that it can use the Eviolite item, which is only usable by Pokemon who can still evolve. Since I made a whole separate video on that topic though, I'll pretty much leave it at that, and you can check out that video if you want to hear more about the Diplin situation. But in addition to Diplin, there are even more secret Pokemon whose existence is either mentioned or is being teased within the Teal Mask, and there are actually a lot of them for just a DLC. The first of these I want to talk about are the original forms of the Loyal 3. This legendary trio consisting of Okidogi, Munkidori, and Fezandipiti are a key part of the story of the Teal Mask, but they have another form to them that is mentioned in the DLC that we don't get to see. In their Scarlet Pokédex entries, as well as in their quest descriptions when you have to track them down after they steal Ogerpon's masks, it's said that these were more or less different Pokemon before they were given the toxic chain that they all wear, and that beefed them all up and gave them the appearance that we see in the games. So, due to the toxic chain's influence, we know at the very least that these Pokemon wouldn't have been poison type originally, and wouldn't be as powerful as they are now, and would probably be smaller in stature as a result. It was actually suggested by Soul Silver Art over on Twitter that the statues that we see at the Loyal 3 monument of these Pokemon could potentially be their true forms, since they are smaller and somewhat different looking to the actual Loyal 3. By the way, the secrets that I am discussing in this video aren't just things that I have noticed personally, they're also things that have been discussed by the community in general, and some of this stuff was pointed out by Soul Silver Art in particular, so be sure to check him out on Twitter if you like this kind of stuff, and a big shout out goes to him. Additionally, along with the true forms of the Loyal 3, there is also a likely fourth member of the Loyal 3 that, for some reason, is currently being hidden from us. During the cutscene that tells us the true story of Ogerpon and the Loyal 3, when the Loyal 3 are introduced and appear on screen, there's actually 4 figures that appear here. There's Fezandipiti on the top left, Munkidori on the lower left, Okidogi on the lower right, and if you look at the top right of your screen, there is a 4th figure that is being obscured a bit by Okidogi, but is clearly a separate, distinct figure of its own. There is no reason for something to appear here in this moment in the cutscene that isn't a part of this group of Pokemon. So it seems that this figure is potentially a fourth member of the Loyal Three that hasn't been revealed yet for some reason. This really seems to be the case though when we take a trip over to Peachy's shop in Mosswee Town. This is basically the resident Pokemart, and if you take a close look on the left side of the counter here, amongst all of the other products that are attempting to help it blend in, you will be able to see a mysterious circular figure just kind of sitting there, and it's honestly hard to make out what it even is. If you pay close attention though, you'll notice that its purple coloration is actually identical to that of the Loyal Three's toxic chains. And while it is largely obstructed, the part of the figure that we can see in that story cutscene from earlier matches up with the shape of this figure at Peachy's shop, which makes it very much seem like this is an intentional tease on Game Freak's part, which they are of course known to do, and that this is in fact actually a fourth member of the Loyal Three. The final nail in the coffin concerning the existence of this Pokemon has to do with the Teal Mask's key art, the art that was shown to us the moment the DLC was revealed, meaning that this was being teased this entire time and pretty much no one had any idea until now. If we take a look at the lanterns that lie on either side of this artwork, we can see that they have various symbols on them. These symbols are type symbols that represent the grass, fire, water, rock, poison, fairy, psychic, and fighting types. These types all correlate to Ogerpon and its forms, as well as the typings of the Loyal Three, meaning they are clearly meant to represent them. But there is one more typing on these lanterns along with all of the other ones I just mentioned. Ghost. This ghost type icon, along with all of these others, especially given the evidence we've already discussed, highly suggest that there is going to be a fourth member of the Loyal Three, and that it is going to be a poison ghost type. And when you look back at that mysterious figure, which is basically just this strange sphere-like thing, that is definitely the kind of body shape that a ghost-type Pokemon could be. So it seems like we are going to be getting a little more to the story of the Teal Mask with this Pokemon. The question is, when? And for what reason has it been held back to this point? Let's go ahead and move on though to talk about even more potentially teased Pokemon, and this time it concerns Tera forms of Koraidon and Miraidon. Tera forms are something that have just barely been confirmed to be a thing, with Ogerpon's Tera forms and the first form of Terapagos that we were introduced to also being confirmed to be a Tera form as well. So it seems that the games are finally starting to explore this with the DLC, and now it seems like Koraidon and Miraidon might be getting Tera forms too when the story wraps back around to Area 0 in the Indigo Disk. The following observation was made by Light88 on Twitter, so shout out to them for this, but Koraidon and Miraidon in their Pokedex artwork have a Tera symbol imprinted on their page. Ogerpon, who we know has a Tera form, also has a Tera Mark too, but every other Pokemon in the Pokedex, including other legendaries and Paradox forms, have a regular Pokeball symbol on their pages instead. So it seems possible, even though it might be circumstantial, that this points in the direction of Koraidon and Miraidon getting Tera forms as well, which does make sense as they originate from Area 0 and are the box art legendaries of these games. And we also know that the story is going to wrap back around to Area 0 as well, hence the title of the DLC. As Light88 mentions as well, there is also data mined text within the DLC that seems to point towards this being possible even further. So this very possibly could be a thing once the Indigo Disk rolls around, which is very exciting. Now we are going to get into some different kinds of secrets though, and this is one that I noticed while playing, and I personally feel like it's intentional, and is honestly a crazy detail if so. Kieran is a character introduced in the Teal Mask, who is a central character to the entire DLC as a whole, and while he starts out as nice, he progressively becomes more antagonistic and kinda crazy as the DLC goes on, ultimately culminating in him going full crazy mode in the final cutscene before the DLC ends. This is why I think that it's very interesting that the inner side of Kieran's hair is purple in color, and just so happens to be the same shade of purple as the Loyal 3's toxic chain, which seems like it could be a bit of foreshadowing to him becoming a more antagonistic character, especially because it's on the underside of his hair, as if it's representing these darker, crazier feelings that he holds within himself, while on the outside he has a nicer, much more friendly exterior. Given the fact that we also seemingly have some loose ends going on with the Loyal 3 themselves, with their 4th member that we just talked about, it's possible that Kieran could tie into that as well, and even have a connection with them directly that this could be alluding to, and potentially that 4th member in particular who has yet to be revealed. So, as you can see, Game Freak definitely likes to do a lot of teasing in their games, and there's another thing that they teased right from the outset of the DLC's reveal. The crystal pool that sits atop Oni Mountain is an important location in Kitakami, as it obviously has a connection to the Tera crystals and therefore Area 0, even though it seemingly shouldn't. This area could potentially become more important as the story of the DLC continues to progress in the second part, especially because one of the symbols that is adorned on the logo of the DLC is actually the crystal pool itself when viewed on the map, which is a really cool attention to detail, as well as a cool bit of foreshadowing for what was to come in the DLC. What do you guys think about these secrets though? Were you able to notice any of them yourself? And what do you think they mean for the rest of the DLC? Be sure to let me know in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and if you want to support the channel once again, go check out those Folkachi plushies with the link in the description at histrobishop.com and pick one up if you can. It would be so immensely appreciated and would help the channel out a ton. With that being said, I'll be back very soon with another video, and until then, as always, thank you guys so much for watching this one. I really appreciate it, and I will smell you guys later.